Entitled teacher takes medicine for me in class. I saw a similar story on a Reddit and thought about sharing my experience of when, in high school, my 16F medicine was taken by my math teacher, 42M, during class. Now this happened a few years ago as I've already graduated and yada yada, but that's not what y'all are here for. The story took place during school hours in math class. I have severe anxiety, mixed with severe ADHD, and high-spectrum autism creates pretty nasty anxiety attacks, due to which I have to take a specific medication to calm down my anxiety when I start shaking. The symptoms are pretty easy to tell. Feels like my heart's imploding, hard to breathe, paranoia, shaking, and then I start uncontrollably crying. It's not that hard to set off one of these attacks due to PTSD from the past, but you can find one of those stories in my profile. Some of the big triggers, yelling and throwing and chasing, or in this case, angry speed walking. Due to being easy to set off, I keep a bottle in my bag labeled for use anytime necessary, though I can only use this medication twice a day within a range time period from the separate dosages. I had already taken the first dosage earlier before school to prepare myself for a stressful day. But during my class, I started feeling that familiar tightness in my chest and tried breathing exercises to help myself calm down. Something you should know about this teacher: he hates kids interrupting the lesson for any reason. He will hand out detention like they're lottery cards, even if you just ask to use the bathroom. It's ridiculous, honestly, and he's had lots of complaints to no avail. Another thing, he's very loud. Not necessarily cause he chooses to be, but he's got a very loud voice, which I guess was setting me off that day. Now, I would have been able to manage if he'd just have let me get some water, but when I asked if I could get a drink, he looked at me with a scowl. "Oh? And what makes you think that you get to skip my lesson?" he said in an accusatory tone. "What? No, sir, I just need a drink for my medication." I was already nervous to begin with, but he was more annoyed that I wanted to leave the classroom to take necessary medication than he was about my health and safety. He knew I had medication but didn't let me bring water bottles to class, so I usually had to wait until after class to get any type of drink if I needed my medicine. "Your medication can wait. You're fine now, sit down and be quiet," he snapped. And yes, he said it as if he was accusing me of faking the medicine. Thankfully, my best friend was also in the class and had no filter for herself, but had the amazing power of, "I don't give a crap." She stood up noticing that I was starting to panic and tossed her pencil up front. "She needs her medicine, you dumb. If you think she's faking, then you're as dense as a damn brick and should go live a life as 1 inch. This set him off and he started yelling at her. Much as I care about my friend, the yelling only served to trigger me, and I dug out the bottle ready to down a pill dry just to stop myself from having an attack in front of my classmates. He apparently didn't like this and walked over and snatched the bottle before I could get the lid off, and then went to his desk while my friend tried to get it back, and then he locked it in his desk. There is no damn reason for you to be filling your pathetic brain with these lies about anxiety issues. You're just wanting to get high or eat in my class. I started freaking out and screamed at him. Not a lie, I need those, give it back. No. Now sit down. You both will be having after-school detention. After that, my attack happened. I don't usually remember what happens during the attack, but according to my friend, I pushed the desk over in the chair and fell to the floor crying, and when the teacher tried to come and make me stand saying, "You're faking it, you little lying brat," I scratched the FCK out of his arm in a panic. A kid in my class ran to get the principal, who then came to the class and had the teacher unlock his desk despite not wanting to, and was forced to give the medicine back. My parents were called, and they were understandingly furious. They demanded action was taken and threatened a lawsuit, which, considering they've done it in the past, I'm sure they would do it again. They brought me home after taking me to the hospital to make sure I didn't hurt myself, and my teacher was put on unpaid suspension and was forced to take classes about being more understanding and about medical awareness. He was made to apologize, but he mostly sounded sorry for himself and not about what he did. I was put into a different class as I refused to see him again. Although I wasn't able to have my medicine bottle in my bag anymore, but I could go to the nurse up to 2 times a day if I needed it, and the teachers were all made aware that if I needed my medicine that they had to catch me up on anything I missed later or give me resources for it, and that they couldn't tell me to wait or do it after class. They were mostly understanding, and I had a pretty rough end of year, but after that year at that high school, my parents had enough of the issues and put me into at-home online schooling to finish my last 2 school years, which was great. Nowadays, my anxiety isn't as bad as I've gone to a lot of therapy and psychiatry appointments. People honestly need to be more aware. Anxiety isn't a joke, and people get hurt from attacks.